Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Now, I can understand some of you unable to get past the manta ray case. This watch may be polarizing because of it. And I can understand also some of you saying that is just too much gold. I get that. But even those who don't like it cannot deny its elegance and its beauty. In today's Dapper Wrist video, we will be talking about the Zodiac Olympos. And in doing so, my intent with this channel. Because I will feature watches from my collection, I will primarily focus on dress watches better suited for the small to average wristed gent. Furthermore, none of these watches will ever break the $1,000 barrier. At least for now. It took many years of watch collecting before I could finally spend this much money on one watch. In early 2019, I paid $675.75 for the watch from watches.com. They also had the cream and the black dial version, but those weren't on sale. Because of that, I couldn't justify spending the $119.25 more for the one I was leaning towards, the black dial version. That and not having a gold dress watch were the two factors that made me buy this timepiece. This is my most expensive watch, and it shows. The ZO9703 is magnificently stunning. A legit timepiece with a retro aesthetic that surprisingly doesn't look dated. This is how to do redos. This watch has no bad angles. But it ain't perfect either. The gold Olympos has two big negatives and one half negative. What's a half negative? It's a critique, a preference or suggestion, a slight flaw I can overlook, a shortcoming one can forgive, a negative that for some may not be a negative, and even for me in some cases. First con, its readability. Due to the similar tones of gold in the case, dial, handset, and indices, and because each of these components are done to a high degree of finishing to best reflect light, it can be hard to read the time in both low light and bright light settings. Second negative aspect of this watch I found when I first tried to wind it. There is little to no grippage at that crown tucked in at the 2 o'clock. And if you do get a grip, you're lucky if you get a quarter of a wind the most. In truth, I don't know which is worse. It's poor readability or extremely hard windability. Is that even a word? But that crown tucked in right there just looks way too cool. I get it. Ironically, both these negatives have everything to do with the watch's unique style and impeccable presentation. Now the half negative, the white date wheel. I hesitate making this critique because the remedy calls for a gold date wheel, and that might just put us right back into the first con. They should have considered the black date wheel. It's in their stock and I think would pair well with this leather band. But maybe I'll just trust they made the right choice here. See, that's what a half negative looks like on this channel. Now that we've taken out the trash, let's talk about its specs. 50 meters of water resistance. Stainless steel case, bezel, back and buckle in gold PVD. The slightly domed sapphire crystal that just protrudes by a hair off that bezel makes this watch 10.9 millimeters tall. 37 millimeter case width. Now this measurement is a little funny because you're only going to find it in the shortest distance point. Because of the manta ray case, this watch doesn't necessarily look like a 37.5, but it's not going to be that much bigger. 45 millimeter lug to lug length. Did I just mention that? I'm a little confused here. 19 millimeter lug width. Now before any of you cats start tripping on me, I can't complain. The proportions of the width to the rest of the case is in perfect harmony. Moreover, this leather band is the softest, most comfortable leather band I own. So I have no intentions on switching this up. Seriously, this leather band is awesome. Inside the Olympus, we have the STP, or the Swiss Technology Production 3-13, a 26 jeweled automatic movement with hacking. Second hand stop right there just before the 55 marker. Hand winding, theoretically, and a 44-hour power reserve. The movement features a swan neck regulator, of which I hear is just a fancier way to regulate a watch. And it makes sense because the movement is nicely decorated, hardened blued screws included. Even the inside of this watch is fancy. It's just too bad we can't see it. But what we can see is a show-stopping quadrant dial. The money shot. This dial never stops dancing with the light. Its two distinct sunbursts just kills it. The 12 to 3, 6 to 9 quadrants share the radial sunburst, whereas the 3 to 6 and 9 to 12 share the center out brushing sunburst. It's a little bit hard for me to do this justice, but you guys can see it there. In hand, it looks a little bit better. Why am I BSing? It looks a lot better in hand. The combination of these quadrant dials is pure eye candy. The applied Zodiac logo sits just beneath the 12 marker, with Olympus and Zodiac printed just underneath, automatic printed above the 6 marker, with Swiss made on either side of that baton at the bottom. Beveled baton markers all around except for the 12, 3, 6, and 9, which are thinner and longer with a center groove to differentiate. You can make that out right now on both the 12 and the 9. The marker at the 3 cut short by the framed date window. That is polished with a beveled that features brushing. The only brushing at the top of this watch. The other brushing is in the back of the case. Part of me wishes they would have done some brushing at the top or the side perhaps, but I get it. I'm not gonna moan about that. Check out that beveled right there between the top and the side. I'm telling you, this watch is cool. All these surfaces just polished to a mirror shine. This watch doesn't quit. I bought this watch because of the manta ray case. I love it. It's so uniquely different, so original, and it fits my style. But once in hand, I was able to appreciate its design looking at it through various angles. It's not easy making look good in every angle. That could only happen through execution. And that's what this watch is, the quality of execution. From case, dial, handset, and indices, to the watch's movement, its ultra comfortable leather band, snappy buckle. This watch is a gleaming jewel with nostalgic grace and modern elegance.